What did ancient humans eat in a single day? You open a fridge and eat in minutes. You never think about where that food came from. It traveled from dozens of countries just to reach your plate. For 300,000 years, none of that existed. Getting food took most of the day, every single day. No supermarkets, no farms, no delivery. So what did they actually eat? A prehistoric human woke up at dawn, no alarm, no coffee. The sun came up and the day started. Most of the group was still sleeping, the fire was almost dead, they were running on empty. And that was completely normal. Ancient humans carried less body fat than modern people, but they were not weak. They were adapted, the body ran on what it had, and it was efficient. Before leaving camp, a hunter might grab whatever was left from the night before. A piece of dried meat, a handful of berries, a root, sometimes nothing at all. And they walked anyway. Scientists figured this out from bones. Ancient human bones preserve a chemical record of what a person ate over years. Researchers across East Africa analyzed hundreds of specimens. What they found was variety, dramatic seasonal variety. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. The diet shifted completely with each season. In wet months, fruit, leaves, honey, insects, small game. In dry months, meat, bone marrow, and roots dug from cracked earth. There was no weekly meal plan, no nutritional guidelines. They ate what the landscape offered that day. Frank Marlowe at Cambridge spent decades living alongside the Hadza people of Tanzania. The Hadza are one of the last populations still living as hunter-gatherers today. Marlowe documented over 50 plant species the Hadza eat regularly. Of those 50, only about 10 make up the bulk of their calories. The rest are emergency foods or medicine. Each plant had a name, a season, a location, and a preparation method. The knowledge was not written down. It was memorized, passed between generations by watching and doing. The most important plant food was the tuber. Fat underground roots packed with starch. Some thick and calorie-dense, some thin and full of water. A skilled gatherer could smell a berry patch from distance. They knew which bark stopped bleeding, which leaf reduced fever. They were not guessing randomly in the wild. They knew exactly where to go. An elder showed a younger person. That younger person showed the next generation. The Hadza pull tubers as large as a fist from dry, cracked ground. Tubers survive underground even when the surface is completely dead. Richard Wrangham at Harvard published research in 2009 showing that cooking tubers was one of the key drivers of human brain evolution. Raw tubers are hard to digest. Cooking breaks down the starch and releases more calories. More available calories meant more energy for the brain. The human brain uses 20% of total body energy. A chimp brain uses far less. Cooking made that possible. The hunters left camp later in the morning. Among the Zhu/Hwanzi people of Botswana studied since the 1960s, hunters succeeded about once every 4 days. Most hunts returned empty. The group accepted this calmly. There was no failure. It was expected. Hollywood running and ambush hunting were rare. The real technique was called persistence hunting. A hunter found tracks at midday, started jogging at a steady pace. The animal ran ahead. The hunter kept jogging. The animal rested. The hunter kept going. Animals overheat. They cannot pant while running at full speed. Humans sweat. We stay cool while moving. After hours of pursuit, the animal collapsed from heat exhaustion. The hunter walked up calmly and finished it. Louis Liebenberg documented this technique in the Kalahari in 2006. He filmed it happening. When a large animal fell, the whole group processed it immediately. Meat was cut into thin strips, dried over fire or spread on hot flat rocks in sunlight. Dried properly, it lasted 2 weeks. Fat was stored separately in an animal bladder pouch hung from a tree. Fat was actually more valuable than protein on a calorie per gram basis. A hunter choosing between 2 animals picked the fatter one. Bone marrow was a priority. A hammerstone cracked open the long bones. Marrow flowed out. It was dense, calorie-rich, easy to eat. 100 grams of marrow contains around 700 calories. That equals 3 eggs. Nothing was wasted. Tendons became cord. Hide became clothing or shelter. Organs came first. Liver, heart, kidney. Modern people throw these away. Ancient humans ate them before anything else. The liver has higher nutrient density than muscle meat. Vitamin A, iron, B12. But not every day. The liver stores vitamin A, and too much is toxic over time. Insects were not a backup plan. They were a reliable food source. Kim Hill studied the ache people of Paraguay through the 1980s and 90s. Palm grubs made up 26% of caloric intake during certain months. One fat palm grub contains 38 calories. No hunting required, no tracking. Flip a log, check a rotting palm trunk, eat what you find. Termites were harvested with a thin stick inserted into a mound. The termites climbed the stick. You pulled it out and held it briefly over flame. Insects contain more protein per gram than chicken, about 60% versus 31%. By afternoon, the group returned to camp. The food went to the center. Everyone received a share. This was not charity, it was strategy. Boehm at the University of Southern California analyzed 150 hunter-gatherer societies across the world. All 150 of them had strong social rules against hoarding food. If someone hid meat, the group found out, that person was excluded. Excluded from a hunter-gatherer group meant walking into wilderness alone. Almost no one survived that. Sharing food was not about generosity. It was about staying alive inside the group. Sharing also functioned as a social savings account. You gave today, you received next week. The calories varied dramatically across the year. Herman Pontzer at Duke University measured Hadza energy intake across seasons. Good seasons brought around 2,600 calories per day. Lean seasons dropped to 1,500. The body handled this without collapsing. Lean but standing. Metabolically flexible. The human body could run on fat stores for days without performance loss. By evening, the camp was active again. Meat strips hung over fire on sticks. Tubers buried in ash at the edge of the coals. Smell carried. Far into the dark. Out in that darkness, predators listened. The fire kept most of them back. A hyena or leopard approached only when hunger outweighed caution. The group sat together inside the light. The most prized food was honey, above meat, above tubers. The Hadza ranked honey as their favorite food. Getting it required climbing tall trees and pushing a hand into an active hive. Sting marks covered the arms. They did not stop. Honey is glucose and fructose with trace amounts of water. Pure, fast energy. 100 grams delivers around 300 calories and hits the bloodstream fast. After a full day, the group ate until the food was gone. When food was present, they ate fully. When it was absent, they rested. No calorie counting. No portion control. The body signaled when to stop. And they stopped. Body fat was stored automatically for the next lean period. The brain managed this on its own. And it was precise. Then something changed. Around 10,000 years ago, wild grain began to appear in certain valleys. A different kind of stickman appeared. A farmer. The diet narrowed. Wheat, barley, lentils, repeated across seasons. Researchers comparing hunter-gatherer skeletons to early farmer skeletons found clear differences. Farmers were shorter by about 4 centimeters. Farmers had more dental cavities, more spinal wear, porous eye sockets, a sign of iron deficiency, shorter estimated lifespans, more food in terms of total calories, less variety, worse health. Farming fed more people. It built cities. It also trapped people in a narrower diet than any human had eaten before. Today, a supermarket holds thousands of products, but most of those products come from fewer than 20 plant species. The Hadza, eating from the open landscape, draw from over 50. No nutritionist told them what to eat. No label, no weekly plan. They ate what the season offered, across the full year, across all of it. An ancient human in a single day ate tubers from the ground, fat grubs from a rotting log, dried meat from 3 days ago, fresh honey pulled from a tree, termites cooked on a stick, and whatever berries grew along the path. They walked 15 kilometers to get it, and they did it again the next day.